Okay. Just a moment here. This that I'm looking for. Let's see. Cool. And all right, that's all good. Okay. And I should be able to just do this. All right. Cool. And now the thing is, will this... I don't remember how to make changes to that. Trying to figure something out here. Give me a second. Nope, not that. Oh god, it's awful. Yeah, local files for this. But like, where is the thing? there's 101. There's only 66 on here, so I don't remember how you put more tracks on. Feel dumb. Having a big dumb moment. Gotcha. This. Okay, so hold on a minute. Has this been... Scroll all the way down through here. How many tracks is there? Add two. Okay, what did it add? Because there should be 101. Hello, is it Trinzid? Is that how you pronounce that? Yes, 101. That worked. Okay, cool. That's fixed. Might be a little bit of a delay to the YouTube side, but I did see your message. Alright, that's not what I'm working on. That can go away. Well, how are you, Trinzid? I'm aware of what that problem is. Turn the music down just a smidge. But I need to turn it down for me too, because it's kind of too loud. There. That should be better. Game devs to potentially make music for. Well, unfortunately at this stage, I'm not hunting for a musician. And I kind of already have someone in the wings for that. I'm still really early on in my project. Like, I'm still working on, like, controls and basic elements. Alright, so this nightmare, which every time I open the darn thing for the first time, I think it's gonna friggin' crash. I don't like listening to that one. Like, it's great atmosphere music, but it's not appropriate for this. If you're looking specifically to make music for games, though, have you looked into joining like a game jam? That would like, those wouldn't necessarily be for, they wouldn't be like commercial products, at least not initially. But if you joined a game jam, I'm sure a lot of people making game jams tend to just use stock music, or rip music from other games, depending on what the specific rules of the jam are. But if you're just looking to like get experience, that might be the way to do it. I don't have a big enough because like right now I'm kind of fostering a community for people to learn game dev, but like there's only a handful of us and all of them are really new, so we're not hosting jams. But I know that Itch.io has like a ton of them pretty regularly. GMTK runs some big ones. I think they just had theirs for like the year, or at least they just had one in general. But I think there's an entire game jam section on Itch.io. So if that's, I mean, you're not gonna make money doing that probably, because those generally aren't for profit, but it would get your name out there and get you some experience if that's what you need. If like experience is kind of what you want, like if I'm assuming you have experience with music production. Haven't done it in a while, took a break, got back, recently finished an album, new music for games. Inspired doing this process. I mean, if that's what it is, like that would be, especially for like a networking standpoint, that would be the place to do it. Like, because some of those, sometimes like game jam projects go on to be bigger things. Not always. I mean, in fact, probably not most of the time, but sometimes it happens. And also that puts your name out there in a way, because I'm gonna be honest, you know, you pop into chat and you say something like that, that immediately would put me on, especially if you started inquiring about making music for this, that would put me on edge as you potentially being a scammer. And I think that's going to be true for a lot of devs if you're just reaching out to them like on social media or whatever. That's just the nature of the world now, is that like between artists, you know, people always like, hey, I'll make art for your stream. Hey, I'll make this for that. But then they end up being scams. So people are going to be a little cagey in general if you're reaching out to try to do that kind of stuff. A lot of that's generally going to come from them looking for you. But if you find some game jam communities to join, like probably in some Discord, like I think GMTK has a Discord, and you join some of those, then that might be a way to do it, because at least at that point, you know, you're not making it out like you're looking for something. Yeah. And that'll make, like, you won't come across, because you're not immediately like making the conversation about money. That's gonna make you come across as like valid. Because I'm sure, especially if you have an album and that you probably have a portfolio of work. But even if you send that to someone, you know, they may not necessarily know that it's not stolen or that it's really you. Do music for I cannot read. Always do music for free. CSU to Lifewise hobby. Yeah, I appreciate the sentiment. I do feel like people need to be compensated for their efforts. In fact, The person that is in talks with me about music for this game wanted to do it for free, and I kind of insisted that that wasn't going to be the case. I would pay them, but we're just not at that point yet. So, and I don't need the music yet, so they're not allowed to work on anything yet. So that's just, you know, how I try to operate on, you know, keeping things fair and proper as far as making sure people are compensated. It's like channel art is all stuff that I've bought, you know, not like just bought, but like commissioned someone to do. Whenever I have any special editing done, which so far has only happened once, I have hired someone to do it. That kind of thing. You know, I try to make sure that any music I'm playing on stream is music that either I have a license to or that I have otherwise have permission to stream, you know, that kind of stuff. One, it helps me avoid copyright strikes, but two, it makes sure that people are either being compensated in one way or another. And as far as this goes, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so you're not getting an ad over there. But on Twitch, I do run ads to keep pre-roll off, and because of that, whenever ads come up, I have this guy kick in at the top of the screen to notify stream that ads are running. And with something like this, it's easy to pause. I usually try to pause if I'm playing a game. Some games you can't really, but I try to stop so that people don't feel like they're missing out on stuff. But just to fill you in on what that's about. So get this over here. I'm on the ads over, which should be about 20 seconds from now. I will actually get into this. This looks complicated. Yeah, kinda. Also, I think I'm making it more complicated than it really needs to be. So, kind of a quick rundown of what I'm doing here is I want to make sure that when I'm showing prompts, what if you feel the same looking at one of my projects? I don't know a lot about music. Like, I can't read music, so probably. So I want to be like, I haven't started interaction prompts or anything like right now. I was going to do a play-in editor, but it always breaks my StreamBot chat when I do that. So I'm going to avoid that for now. I haven't figured out why that happens. But basically, I haven't started interaction prompts. Like, the doors just open automatically right now. You don't interact with anything, but I need to get to that point. There's some specific things I need to start testing. Like, I want to work on the inventory, because I'm going for like a Resident Evil 4 style inventory where you have to organize it in a case. And so I need kind of keyboard inputs, and I have all the buttons actually programmed, like they work, they do things. I could use them to make those systems, but for the icons or for like the prompts to say, hey, press this to do this, as well as the ability for the player to rebind the controls. Yes, it is a horror game. I can give you the spiel on it in a minute, but in the meantime, I have a command that, assuming my bots are working, yeah, there it goes. Um, so the inventory and control systems, I want to have icons show up when you're supposed to do something to show you what button to hit. And it actually wouldn't be too difficult to show it with text, like say press this key and write it out. But I want to do it with the icons. So I was working on I think I have to write it. So I'm working on this system that lets me show the buttons, but I don't want to have to like rewrite the code to do this every time I want to do it. So the idea was that I make it where they can be overridden, but you'll see this doesn't quite work for whatever reason. In how I'm doing this, it always ends up defaulting to either keyboard or Xbox, no matter how I try to do this. I've got a system for detecting the controllers, and it just kind of goes all weird on me. Boop. And I'll just put this back where it was, which was Windows. And none. The larger issue with this system is, so that's a problem, obviously. It's not showing the other controller input types. But I want it to be reusable because I want to use that basically anywhere that I need to show an icon. So I don't have to create it a bunch of times. And when I go and try to plug it into something like this, where is it? Here. So right, Switch Pro is a gamepad. Yep, because the buttons are all different. So this would kind of resolve that because it would show you the correct buttons based on the control you're using. And I should have it. I haven't confirmed, but I should have it set up where it can detect a Switch Pro controller. But I do have one to test with eventually. The larger issue I'm having is that when I get to this point and I start trying to pass the command over, like to the individual inputs, I start running into weird problems. So like we can say keyboard up. Well, see, it's not, unless I specifically override the controller type, it doesn't come through, which is still fine. I could do that every time if I had to. That's really meant for the player to like correct it. Like if my system doesn't detect the controller right, they can set something and change it manually. And this is probably necessary right now more because there's not an active controller for it to detect. The game's not running. But let's see, is it gonna work this time? So like gamepad, thumbstick up, right? Now, thumbstick up, technically, that's just the thumbstick. This is where I was getting into things like directional, which doesn't appear to be working. But I have a different way of handling that icon if I had to. Let's see, gamepad, face button, bottom. So it's hit or miss whether or not it wants to work for me and how it wants to work for me. And that's kind of where I'm having some issues and trying to work out some problems. But I have a whole system. Let me recompile that. And then this was supposed to get reused for like every input action for like a keybind. Boop, boop. Where is it? It's in Blueprints game instance. So there was something I had to write in code. It's, where is it here? Game framework, game instance. So basically, I had to write a system in here. That's crowd control stuff. That's not important right now. Where's... Oh, there it goes. Controller data. But I put it in game mode. I'm dumb. Game mode. So I've got this stuff in here that is looking for controllers and listens for changes in them. And it's also got a thing in here to pull the connected devices. And when it does that, and this is how I would detect a Switch Pro, because by nature, or just like by default, unless you have like a Nintendo development kit or even like a Sony development kit, there are controllers that are just not recognized by the engine. Like by default, without a Nintendo dev kit, there's no way to build for the Switch. And if I was looking into controls, let's say I needed to add an input here. By default, in fact, because this is Unreal Engine 4, it's only recognizing PS4, Xbox One. It recognizes a few other things, like Steam controller stuff. But it has a generic system, basically. And so what this does is I have that system that pulls information on controllers, and then this is game instance. I need game mode. In my game mode, yeah, I got this nightmare. And basically what it's doing is it gets the connect to controller whenever it's called. It gets all of the registered devices. That's this guy here. And as long as there's more than one, it proceeds through. If it doesn't find one, or, you know, if there's zero, it's going to just output generic, because at that point, and it's going to say there's not a controller connected because we can't determine what's connected. But Windows and most OSs should report a controller. So we get this guy. If it was on Steam, you could use Steam input. That's true. And in fact, that would come into the raw input plugin. The problem is, and one of the things that can become tricky, and that's part of what this is supposed to resolve, is that the Steam input plugin tends to identify controllers as like Xbox controllers when they're not, which can cause some confusion as well. So what I have to do is, so I get the vendor IDs and the product IDs of the registered devices, and I have a system here that kind of breaks it down into something usable. And I have a table of, and this took some digging to find. Where is it here? Controllers. I have a table here of known vendor IDs and known device IDs for controllers, because many of these controllers have more than one potential device ID that they might report. So these should help me identify the specific controller that's being used. And there are probably other ones. This is just what I've been able to find looking online. The vendor IDs should be pretty reliable. they always seem to use the same ones. And so it matches those up, and then it outputs what controller's being used. Now, what I then do is when I'm actually using that, because I actually have that in here, game mode, get connected controller, it gets the information here. It also tries to find out, did the player override the controller? And if so, it takes the override and appropriately overrides the icon with the right one. Otherwise, it takes what is output, which actually happens over here. So to a degree, it works, but also it doesn't update super well. And that's why I'm thinking I've done something wrong. Like it doesn't update rapidly enough. I'm concerned, not only are there ways in which it's not working, that when it gets rebound, it's not going to properly update. Most of the examples, because a rebinding system is not like native. Have I tried using a gun? What do you mean? Like in the game? I don't have like weapons programmed yet or anything. I haven't actually programmed anything other than walking around. Oh, bad joke. I gotcha. Oh, gun on the computer. Okay. I might lose chat for a minute. I'm gonna try to do this. There's a weird issue with StreamBot where the chat window goes blank whenever I do this. But I'm gonna basically show you what it does right now. There it goes. Why does it do that? So strange. So basically all that happens right now is, and the he runs like perpetually, because I don't have it bound where I can. Oop, I accidentally kicked on slow-mo. Apparently I have unbound the control for his walking versus running, and he's just going to permanently run. So right now these just open automatically, just for the sake of testing. They're not going to do that in the long run. But that's, and now I gotta fix chat here so I can actually see what you've said. So give me a moment, if anything. Alright, StreamerBot, why you break? Will you be okay now? No? There it goes. It's possible I have missed messages because it breaks like crazy when I do this. You think you missed a jump scare? No jump scare. There's no scares programmed. None of that's been created yet. Just, if anything, the game, like, does weird thing. Well, so I have a thing I use that helps me keep an eye on, because since I stream to both Twitch and YouTube, I have a thing called StreamerBot. This guy that I use, and it gives me these little windows that I can put down on my other monitor, and I can see the chats combined. But oh, what the heck? It didn't give you the actual link, apparently. Let's try it again, shall we? Oh, it's on cooldown. I'll tell you what, I can paste it. Give me a moment. That's weird that that bot broke like that. But if you want the Discord, I can... Oh no, you figured it out, apparently. Maybe it gave you the link and doesn't show it to me. Because it says you're in there now. Alright. The chat is all kind of broken now, so... But these little windows, like this one for chat, for whatever reason, anytime I play... And they're like little web browser windows because it shows me an when it errors out, it shows like this page failed to load error. Anytime I play in editor, like launch the game to run it, it crashes out and acts like it can't load the page, and then I have to like close it. What did I do? I changed the layout somehow and I don't like it. How did I even do that by accident? Oh God. There we go. It's all better now. Okay, cool. Had a little delay. Yeah, I think that's part of it too. So, but yeah, I saw you. It shows you're in the Discord. So there's a verification process, which it looks like you may have already done. So that's good. Yeah. Hopefully, it lets you keep the verification role. I've had a weird problem where random and it does this to people that like I know in person. So and that have been in the server a long time. Randomly, that verification role just disappears off people and I have to fix it. But yeah, it should let you do stuff now and see stuff. Cool. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that in regards to this UI element and its shenanigans. Nope, not that. This and this. Oh, my own organization system is terrible. Keep me in the background. AFK, gonna eat real quick. Alrighty. If for some reason I don't respond, ping in the Discord because it could be that the chat has broken. It does that sometimes since I use this thing to see both of them. I have a separate screen up where I can see Twitch chat, but I don't do that for YouTube. There's usually nobody in the YouTube chat, to be entirely honest. All right, so we need to try and get this working. Let's see. I may need to, let's see, can I? Will it let me access the actual files for that? No, it will not. Don't think. No. Okay, so this one, just gonna bring this over here. Do 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 do. So maybe if we start with this. Okay, let's start working on this from a slightly different standpoint. Where's the HUD? Miscellaneous? Nope. Okay, fine. I'll do it this way. So we can just do... ACT, and game. Boop, boop, doo. Yeah, because that's just stuff for the main menu. And it's just parented off of the standard HUD, so that's fine. Boop. And as far as I know, the dev overlay HUD, which is fine for this level, actually. You know what? Let's reparent this to the dev overlay HUD because that one's one I wrote in code, I'm pretty sure. Because it's not a yeah, it's code written. And that's the one that has the like build information up in the corner. Pretty sure. Which is Interesting. Maybe I didn't make any of that exposed to blueprint. I mean, it's fine. Let's see. It's definitely in here somewhere. Or not? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Did I do it as... I did it as a blueprint. That might not be a good idea then. Alright, not a blueprint. I did it as a plugin. It's one of my dev tools. It'll be fine for now. I just have to remember to change it later. Because I don't plan on shipping that plugin. Temporary. The most permanent form of airy. Is pretty much how that goes. Alright, cool. But that'll at least let me keep that dev information in the corner. We're gonna need... So let's start with the hint side of it first, I guess. Like the tip prompt side. And maybe I can get it from there. This is different. Let me just do blueprint or user interface widget blueprint, and this is going to be W control tips. Eventually, I should be able to pull in the control icon widget into this if I do this correctly. So let's see. We should be able to do... I think it might have died. Oh, there it goes. Cool. It crashed. All right. That's awesome. All right, well, that's going to take a while to reopen. While that is taking its sweet time, I've got this other thing I'm working on that I can... What the? Okay. Is it under this one? Why? No. Why? Okay, sure. Really? Does it not have where I had to... Oh my goodness, I have to sneeze. I can feel it. I have to do the stupid command to... it's not in this. The Horizon plugin has two requirements. That it's... Yeah, I'll just have to get it to yell at me. That's the only way. Yeah, it's this one, and then there's one other one. I wish it would just tell me both of them at once. Let's see what's happening. Was not supposed to do that. All right. And that's still doing its thing. This is still doing its thing. Oh, it's almost done. Cool. Alright, well, we'll try the regular rich text block, and maybe it won't shit its pants. Did it open? Is it... Alright, where are you at? Come on. Unreal, what are you doing? There you are. Sure. Oh no, that may have been a mistake. You've returned. Welcome back. The engine crashed while you were away, so I had to reopen it. Which is sometimes just a thing that happens, unfortunately. Par for the course doing game dev is that in the early stages, everything's very unstable. Rich text block. So let's try the standard one. Okay, it didn't shit its pants that time, so that's good. Alright, so we want to set our anchor like at the top of the screen. And don't do it by 0. Like that maybe? It's not quite low enough for my liking. 820. That might be like where I would be likely to put subtitles. So let's say 850. And then 800 by like 40. And we can put 0.5 to put it right there, smack in the middle. Well, you know, everything I do tends to be a little bit scuffed, so I just kind of embrace it at this point. Like, despite an arguably pretty high production value overall, like, this is an actual camera. There's a ring light behind it. Like, it's not like a webcam. This is like a legit, like a Panasonic camera. You know, I got an XLR microphone. I have a Go XLR. I have 2 PCs that run this whole thing. And yet everything is so scuffed and broken. Oh, look, it's ad time. Okay, Bezos, get your money. Planning on using the engine as a base, or are you considering making some sort of dev mode or live editing? So I have to use the engine to like build the game, and the game runs on the engine. As far as any kind of dev mode, probably not. But it is the Unreal Engine, and so while I'm probably not going to go out of my way to set it up for modding, it should be possible for people to create mods for it if they want to. The Unreal Engine is generally pretty moddable. I got into game development through modding, so I'm supportive of the mod community. It's just as a solo developer, actually implementing, you know, any kind of significant mod support would be pretty out of scope. Especially if I don't do, like, if I was doing this full time, that might be a more reasonable expectation. But I mean, I have a day job. This is a hobby. Streaming's a hobby. At least currently, you know, if enough support comes along, who knows in the future, but for that, I'm just kind of just gonna allow it. If people want to mod it, is kind of what it's gonna go. Live editing would be tricky. There's a lot that goes into that to make it work in a way that is performative and like doesn't cause major overhead. And I don't really know how that would really be relevant to, because it's a story-based game, right? It's going to be very similar to like a Resident Evil game or a Silent Hill game. You know, it's not a survival game where you need to build things, so there's really not going to be build tools of any kind. Now, I do have tools. I'm confused on what game dev projects are organized. I thought dev modes were more for testing. So that would be like a dev build, and what that would mean is I might have like cheat codes, essentially, is a short way to think of it, that allow me to do specific things and trigger specific things without having to play through the entire game from start to finish every single time I want to test a little change. We're out of ad breaks, I just realized. So I'll show you. So like, okay, this is a level editor, what we're looking at here. This is a development level. And basically the idea behind something like this, and it'll probably end up a little bit bigger than this in the grand scheme of things, is it gives me a chance to test out features without building the entire game first, because like I needed a world to walk around in. Well, instead of spending a whole bunch of time finally crafting levels just to test basic features of the game, I sort of just built a rough little building that can be explored. So like, this is a starting area, and so once I get some systems coded up, I'll have like the storage box here for like the bigger inventory. When you're putting things away, I'll have maybe like a test save station here for saving. The doors will be locked with like keys and stuff. This specific hallway is for testing like the flashlight and lighting systems. That's why it's dark. And in some cases, I have some stuff set up, like I'm gonna have you can crawl in like a vent, and I don't have the vents created or anything, but this is where I'm gonna probably put that, is this opening here. It also lets me test out some sort of development tools. So like I have this dynamic staircase, and the way this thing works is I can set like a start and an end point, and I can control a bunch of different stuff on it, like how many balusters do I want to have. So now there's 3 per section. Now we're back down to 1. And so I can customize things like the stair height, and the way that works is I don't have to like build an individual staircase for different levels or different heights. I can quickly sort of build something out, and then in the final levels I would like change out these meshes, but I would still use this tool because it works really well. Sort of things like that. Here is a mirror I put in here for this was mostly as a joke actually during a stream, that I built a bathroom and I put toilets in it. But then we realized, we can test a couple interesting ideas here involving a mirror that I don't want to spoil. So I built a bathroom. And then I was going to build some more stuff up here that I haven't done. I got sidetracked. And then that'll go somewhere. Because also there's going to be, similar to like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, or more importantly, the one that inspired me was the alien in Alien Isolation. There's going to be an enemy, and I'm not going to get into specifics about them, that pursues you around the hospital that you're in. But so one of the things I liked about the alien from Alien Isolation, and I don't think this was the case with Mr. X, but it might have been because he didn't seem to always know where you were. The alien wasn't allowed to cheat. There's a system I'm hoping to implement. I'm not sure if I'll be able to figure it out, but I have a rough idea of how it works. That basically there's like a director AI that sort of is running the game as a whole, and it knows where you are, and it knows where, in this case, the monster is, and it gives the monster hints on where to search for you to kind of send it in your direction if it loses you, but it's not allowed to like just teleport it to you. So at all times, with few exceptions for like some cutscenes and stuff, some specific moments, it is freely roaming. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just spawning story-driven times. Now, there are some exceptions to that, but when you play Alien Isolation, the alien is always free roaming and looking for you. There's a few moments that they do teleport it to you for specific story beats, but outside of that, it's not allowed to cheat. And more importantly, because that element of randomness could result in you getting pinned down and not making progress, they have something. There was a GDC talk, and they had something, I think they called it the menace gauge, which I like the name. It's basically like an invisible bar the player doesn't see, and as the alien is like encroached on the player and in close proximity to them, looking for them, that menace gauge is slowly building. And once it hits a certain point, they basically say, okay, they have the director say, okay, the player's not making progress. They're stuck in a corner. The alien's oppressing them too much. And they'll like give the alien a cue and like send it off somewhere else and make it leave, so that you can make progress and you don't just stay hidden in a corner somewhere. And so I'm looking for something similar, where, and that'll be part of what I test in this level, will be an AI that roams and looks for you, but is also not going to just keep you pinned in one spot, and will have sort of a gauge that tells it, hey, you have to go do something else now. Hopefully I'll be able to get that working. There's not like a tutorial on how to do that, something that specific, but I have some ideas. And there is sort of like, there are talks out there at this kind of thing, because Valve did something similar back in the day with Left 4 Dead. They have, I think they call it a director AI that sort of monitors player behavior and decides, hey, these guys need more items, and it'll be more generous with items, or hey, these guys are doing too well, spawn more zombies. And so it makes things a little bit more dynamic. I like the idea of dynamicism. Be complicated, just think about the logic now. See, it'd be very tedious to program. Well, so at the simplest level, having a meter, it's not a real meter, but having a value that slowly ticks up when one entity is in a certain radius of another entity. Not really that complicated. But getting it to, like, when you start dealing with like AI behavior trees and telling it what to do when, that's gonna be a little harder. But the Unreal has an entire system for behavior trees. State machine is kind of a way you can do that, is a state machine, but I think it literally has a behavior tree in here somewhere. Excuse me. Yeah, right here. Behavior tree. Behavior trees and like environment queries, and things like that. I also, another thing I want to do, and I want to make it optional, is I don't think they did this in Alien Isolation. I do remember in the harder modes, I think it was capable of hearing the beep on your motion detector. And a combination of that idea and some of the indie horror games, like the Fears to Fathom games, have microphone input aimed at streamers, to be honest, more than anything else. Those are the people who would tend to have a hot mic while playing a game. But the microphone input being an optional thing that it can hear you in game, it not like any kind of actual voice detection. It would just be like a noise gate, and as long as so much noise was made, it could hear it. But that's something I would like to do as well. Because like the Fears to Fathom indie games, they do a thing when you're hiding that they, if you have your monitor or your microphone hooked up to it, it'll show like a sound bar when you're hiding, and if the audio peaks, it can alert the enemies. And I find that really interesting. Okay, so this guy, we're gonna call this hint text block. And then just do some place. Just meant to say hello world for now. That's fine. We want it center justified, and we have to set a text. Oh, I don't have a data table for that yet. Okay. Can I just set a font for now? That would be great. Let's just do that for, oh, or not. Oh yeah, no, here we go. We'll just do this for now. Because I will deal with that later. This will just be a nice little temporary solution. Why? Oh, there it goes. Must you be bright purple? Do you want to actually implement the mic concept or just something similar? I mean, I would like to do the microphone. There's already like a feature to bring in mic input. That's not difficult. I do want to make it optional. Like it probably won't be on by default, since that's sort of like a privacy thing in a way. We don't need this to be freaking hot pink. We'll just make it sort of a grayish color for now. Actually, that should be plenty visible. Until I can set the text style. And not concerned about style set or anything right now. Let's see. Let's style. Let's just do it like this, then use... this won't do anything for now because I don't have the text box. Oh, okay. I see what it wants. That's fine. All right, cool. So then, okay, let's create a text style. That's fine. Data table. Rich text styles. That should be fine. And then set this guy as input. And we'll just pick a color for now. I was going for more of an orange. Yeah, that'll work. Boop. And boop. Alright. With this, let me save what we got over there. Compile. Oh, I didn't set the frickin' font. Default. We'll just stick with Barlow condensed for now. We'll make this one regular. Barlow condensed. We'll make this one semi-bold. Yeah, there we go. So that brings up a prompt kind of like that. Now, I want it to be the icon in the long run, but I'm checking some stuff here on how to do it with just the text and make sure that that works. And if that works, then I can go back in and do it my way. Gonna head out for now and do some chores. It was nice to have you. I will keep my eye out for you in the future. Thanks for coming by. Have a good rest of your evening. So let's see here. Wrap with border. Ah, here we go. I don't want the... There shouldn't be a brush here. You know what? Box, let's change the tint. We'll make it black, but make it like slightly transparent. Could you just, yeah. That might actually be too much still. I think there should be some padding though. Let's say 8x4. 16. Ooh, that's too much. 16x8. That's better. Excuse me. Okay, is this the right one here? Yeah, for game mode base, let's set it as, where is it? HUD game, yeah, that. Boop, and a boop. But I need to change that here because this, no, that's fine. Okay, it didn't actually change that. That's good. I was worried it might have replaced that. But we're fine on that front. What about this one? Okay, cool. So it didn't replace those, which is good. And that means we can open up the game HUD. Go ahead and turn it into a full blueprint editor, which is fine. Boo, 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 boo. Interface. I think it's going to be this guy. We'll do one here on this interface. Probably this guy. Show input hint. Because that's part of inventory interaction, which we don't necessarily need. But we can set this guy to just be a standard interaction. Which is fine. Let me change this. Yeah, it'll be fine. Do a float. Oh, wait a minute. We don't need the custom one. We need the one from here. Oh, damn it. It's specifically got to be called an editor. What did it? The hell you mean? No. It's right there. I think I did a dumb, guys. Input, no, that's fine. Why can I not? Hang on a minute. Yeah, okay. I don't know why it wouldn't let me just drag it out there, but sure, whatever. Not that one. Not that one. Control. You know what? I've been doing a no-no, and I have been calling this different things in different places. So we're just going to simplify the name because I could use it for things other than specifically the controls. He said non-committally. Okay. I actually don't know that I could, but I'll do it like this instead. That's fine. The more I thought about it, the more I realized, probably not. We should make this a variable. So first, is it valid? If new, we need to make one. Oh, we have an ad break. All right, I will save that. And we shall wait on the ad break. I think ads are about to be over. Probably any second now. We are back from ads. String. Convert. Oh god. Oh no. Is it gonna crash? I think it's crashing. How dare you? Why you crash? That is a perfectly valid thing to do. You and your access violations. Fine. Send and restart. Okay. We're just gonna do this, cause... no. Oh, hold on. That's why. String. And in case it crashes, save. Then to text. We just... Oh, hello? Not snowfall, just regular text. Yeah. Probably change that at something for more complicated later. Boop and a boop. And update hint text. So if it's valid, and this gets called, range. Yeah. No, hold on. What? Why? Why you do that? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. And then if timer. Why? Why you do this? We just need it to tick once. Thank you very much. So if it's supposed to expire when it's completed, destroy widget, I believe. Yeah, destroy. That should work. Else it's gonna stay there until we run a command to hide it. But we also still need to add it to the viewport. Oh my god. There we go. We want this to be like on top as possible, so we're just gonna make this a super high number. That should ensure that it is always on top. And actually, we should probably do a... because we don't want to drop more than once. Is it in viewport? Branch. Oh god. What the fresh hell? What fresh hell is this creating? Oh god. Okay, let's see. We'll do that. That. If it's not, then add. If it is, it can continue on. Actually, retriggerable delay is probably the better way of doing this. Because, oop, oop. Da, 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 da. Better to probably just do this. Okay. So, for... I need another interface, controller interface, new function, get in, hang on. Why? Why? Oh yeah. Hang on a minute. I'd probably have to do this. Get... the event, right? So... Oh? What am I doing that's different? Not you. But I mean, kinda you. Oh. Why event from function from? Did I create the wrong damn thing? Function. There's only an option in here for functions. The fuck? Why are those different than the old one? Why are you creating things differently? I can open the graph on that. Convert function to event. I'm just curious. Hold on. No, not that. Do it on this one. Sure. Function 0. Fine. Why are those different? event from, function from. What is the difference? Super interface. Okay. UE4 API event versus function. Unless you return something. Gotcha. So that makes sense on this guy because it wasn't returning anything. This guy, I didn't add anything to it yet. That's why. Okay. Well, for now, let's do input name and make keys part of the string. And that'll be fine. There it is. Cool. If not 0, not branch. Axis mapping by name. We'll just do another branch. That's fine. I was Trying to think of a better way to do this, and there definitely is one. But for now, so if it's false, we're actually going to move down to this guy. And if that's equals 0, then it's going to output nothing. But otherwise, we have our axis mapping and our action mapping to work with respectively. You know what? I could simplify this. It's greater than 0. True. Cool. And we have an ad break. All right. So, input name. It's the action name. It's the mapping. Now, what I should probably do, action key mapping structures, axis key mapping structures. I should probably promote these to local variables. Oh god, axis is the second one. Stop moving around on me, you bastard. If true. If true. Action key mappings. Access key mappings. Okay, so one of the things we need, switcher. Get the detected input device. That'll help us determine what UI element to use, which is good. And then if it is a gamepad, we'll figure out what gamepad it is. I should be able to tell. No. Yeah. I mean, Might actually be able to just... Yeah. Use keyboard key. So we may not need this, since we can do it this way. We might need it on another end, but... Cool. I don't know why it thinks it needs that. Hello, Magic. Thank you for the check-in. I was about to say, isn't a crazy time your time because you're New Zealand, but it's also 9:30 at night for me, so that's actually probably not too crazy for you. I'm doing all right. I am tired. For no real good reason. We don't need that. We can just go straight across to this guy. Honestly, we don't need this either. Let's do a straight mapping that way. Yeah, 1:30. I figured it was like mid-afternoon. Got enough. Going to head to bed soon if you're tired. I mean, not usually for a little while yet. I don't like this song. It makes me feel like there's a problem. So I have sleep apnea, and I have a CPAP machine, but initially I had no problem using it. But then like a little over a year and a half ago, I got COVID, and when I got over it and tried to go back to using, because I kind of stopped using the machine during that time because I didn't want to like do all the extra sanitation and risk like reinfecting myself or something. So and it was already difficult to breathe. So I stopped using it, and then when I got better, I went back to try to use it again, and ever since then, I can't sleep for more than an hour or two before I wake up like, claustrophobic's not the right word, but I'm just like, oh, I'm like sweaty, it's like too hot, even though it's like relatively cool, damp air. It's just like, oh, this is too much, I have to get the mask off. So I don't really use it. I should, and I think maybe I have so this weekend is a holiday weekend in the US. Labor Day is Monday, so I will have like an extra day to my weekend, so I might try to use it again. It's been probably 6 months, because my sleep's been particularly bad recently. But having that longer weekend means if I don't sleep well, I can kind of work around it. I'm not going to work tired or more tired because my sleep was even worse or whatever. I basically live on caffeine, as it were, because of that situation. It is not a pleasant situation. Alright, so we got the gamepad key. We can determine what key it is. But for now, what we need to do is... We've got our active input device. We can figure that part out. That's all fine. Have you had a good day to your day so far, Magic? We already have active input device. Yeah, I have sleep apnea too. It's not so severe that you need a machine. Mine's mild, apparently, but I guess they felt I needed the machine. I wish I could get the implant, but apparently I don't know if this is true worldwide, but the implant, you have to be diagnosed with moderate to severe, or they want to approve you for it. It's not too bad apart from putting Christmas stuff of last year on the shelves. Talk about like stocking shelves at a store? You had to put Christmas, like last year's Christmas stuff out? Am I understanding this correctly? It's August. Apart from them putting Christmas stuff of last year on the show. Surrounded by kittens when you finish work. Looking to get a kitten soon. We have 2 cats, and they are both troublemakers. One likes to come in here and wants to hang out in my office, because seemingly I am her favorite. But she doesn't want to sit in my lap. She just wants to sit by me and be pet, which results in her just reaching up and clawing the hell out of my legs when I'm not actively petting her. And if I hold her, she just struggles to get down. So she is banned for now. Grocery department has put them out on the shelves. The grocery departments put them out on the shelves. I struggle to even imagine why. And why the grocery department? And why is it year-old Christmas stuff in August? You work in the online department, so you just do people shopping. Interesting. The closest thing that I think I've ever done to anything like that would have probably been, I worked like a food service job. I worked at a pizza place. Let's see, these are both key structures, yeah? Cool. So then I can use this to create a function. Oh, no, that was terrible. That's not what I wanted. Getting rid of old stock to have space for new stuff coming in. I mean, I get the idea of changing out your stock. I just wonder why they felt it necessary to put Old Christmas from the previous year out. Is active input device, because I guess we're determining if each key is the active input device. And here we can do switcheroo. Plug in to get the detected input device. It should already be enabled at this point. In fact, event graph. Switcheroo. Oh god, I hate the music. That'll be fine. Do that. Oh, it's already changing. So now we know we'll have that. And then we can do a switch case here. I do want to eventually determine specifically what device they're using, but for now, if it's a keyboard and mouse, branch. Then we need to check Is this a keyboard key? If it's a gamepad, is this gamepad key? And boop, boop. If it is not a keyboard key, is it a mouse key? And if true, get key. Key friendly name. Key display name. What are they the same? I don't know. Sure. Boop and B is active. I guess we don't have to pull this out here though, to be honest, because we can just get this guy. It might also be helpful